Have you ever heard of the name Ri Sol-ju? A name that is probably unknown to many people, even though she is the wife of one of the most powerful and feared leaders in the world, Kim Jong-un. She lives in a mysterious world where almost nothing is known, and this is no coincidence. As the head of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, Kim Jong-un rules the country with an iron fist, and his wife's life is equally strictly controlled. From being imprisoned while pregnant to receiving the shocking news of the death of her brother and uncle, all were ordered by her husband. But that's not all. Mr. Kim Jong-un's wife is also subject to other harsh and barbaric regulations that make many women exclaim, "He is too cruel." So how did Ri Sol-ju end up living under Kim Jong-un's brutal control? What were those harsh rules that made the whole world shudder when they learned about them? Let's find out in today's video. In a country like North Korea, where every aspect of life is tightly controlled by the government, the lives of those closest to the supreme leader, Kim Jong-un, are certainly no exception. His wife, Ri Sol-ju, known as the First Lady of North Korea, is subject to strict rules and lives a life that is controlled down to the smallest detail. The rules that Kim Jong-un imposes on his wife not only reflect his brutal control, but also show how the North Korean regime protects the image and power of its supreme leader. Changing identity and burying the past, Ri Sol-ju's disappearance. One of the first actions that Kim Jong-un took on his wife, Ri Sol-ju, was not protection but the complete erasure of her past. When she stepped into the role of First Lady of North Korea, Ri Sol-ju was forced to give up not only her name, but also her entire personal history. All information about her past, family, and life before marriage was erased, as if she had never existed before meeting Kim Jong-un. She not only lost the name she was once proud of, but was also stripped of the right to be remembered and recognized as an independent individual. This was not only to protect her from the surveillance of North Korean intelligence, but more deeply, it was Kim Jong-un's way of creating a completely new image for her, an image that served his own political and power purposes. By completely hiding Ri Sol-ju's private life, Kim Jong-un not only cut her off from the outside world, but also built a new character that was completely subject to his wishes and demands. For Ri Sol-ju, this meant being forced to live a life in which all memories and traces of her former self were erased, leaving her a shadow in her own life, living in the shadows, the harsh and humiliating rules. If losing her identity and past weren't enough to make Ri Sol-ju feel humiliated, the strict rules on public appearances certainly made her life an invisible prison. Despite being the wife of one of the most powerful leaders in the world, Ri Sol-ju had almost no freedom in deciding when and where she could appear. Every appearance she made had to be meticulously planned, from her outfit to her gestures, all of which had to follow strict rules set by Kim Jong-un and his advisors. Such microcontrol was not only to keep her in line with the regime's demands, but also to ensure that she never had the opportunity to express herself or exert influence beyond Kim Jong-un's control. Humiliation and loneliness became her only companions in her rare appearances, where every smile, every glance had to be carefully considered, not allowing any genuine emotion to be revealed. She was not only deprived of her personal freedom, but also turned into a political tool, an image created to serve Kim Jong-un's absolute power. Ri Sol-ju's life, from a vibrant person, became a soulless one, where she was imprisoned in the darkness of the harsh rules set by her powerful husband. Next is the strict dress code. The dress code that Kim Jong-un imposes on his wife, Ri Sol-ju, reflects the conservative ideology of the North Korean regime. Like his father and grandfather, Kim Jong-un values a traditional image for women, which he believes is necessary to maintain the nation's cultural heritage. As a result, Ri Sol-ju must adhere to a strict dress code that emphasizes modesty and elegance. She often appears in conservative outfits, carefully chosen to enhance her role as the wife of the supreme leader. A staple of her wardrobe is the traditional Korean hanbok, which she wears to formal events and public appearances. A hanbok is a garment consisting of a long skirt and a short jacket, often decorated with intricate patterns and embroidery. These designs symbolize the wearer's status and are tailored to show the importance of the ruling family in North Korea. It is essential that Ri Sol-ju maintains an impeccable appearance at all times, as her image is a reflection of the regime's values. Her hair, makeup, and accessories are always carefully styled and coordinated, often complementing her husband's outfits during public appearances. This meticulous attention to detail is another manifestation of the strict dress code she must adhere to. Furthermore, Ri Sol-ju's wardrobe is closely monitored to ensure that there are no items that could be considered subversive or anti-regime. This includes avoiding foreign brands, as they are seen as promoting Western values that contradict the North Korean ideology of self-reliance, known as juche. This vigilance is an extension of the total control the regime imposes on its citizens, and Ri Sol-ju is no exception. The dress code that Kim Jong-un imposes on his wife serves multiple purposes. She maintains the regime's traditional values, projects an image of elegance and modesty, and ensures that she adheres to expectations for North Korean women. By following these strict guidelines, Ri Sol-ju plays a role in protecting the ruling family's image and maintaining the regime's cultural heritage. From talented artist to controlled life, Ri Sol-ju's lost journey. Before becoming the First Lady of North Korea, Ri Sol-ju was a talented artist with a promising future. Born into a family with a tradition of art, she showed outstanding musical talent early on. From a young age, Ri Sol-ju participated in many important music events, where she quickly won the hearts of the audience with her sweet voice and captivating performance style. Ri Sol-ju is not only a singer, but also a symbol of the young generation of North Korea. She participated in many major national art programs, becoming one of the familiar faces on music stages. The songs she performed often contain content praising the country, love for the homeland and its people, reflecting the strong patriotic spirit of the North Korean people. Ri Sol-ju's musical career has achieved considerable success, and she quickly became one of the brightest stars in the country's music industry. However, everything changed completely when she met and married Kim Jong-un. From a talented artist, Ri Sol-ju was forced to give up her entire career to step into a new role, the role of a First Lady. This transition was not simply a change of job, but a painful trade-off, as she had to give up her greatest passion, music. After the marriage, Kim Jong-un imposed a series of strict regulations on Ri Sol-ju's life, including prohibiting her from participating in any artistic activities. In the eyes of the North Korean government, a First Lady should not have any public personal or artistic activities because that could make Kim Jong-un's image fade or be distracted. Ri Sol-ju's musical career, once a source of pride, is now a distant memory. She had to give up everything she loved, the bright lights of the stage, the applause of the audience, and the songs she had once sung with all her heart. For an artist, giving up art is a terrible sacrifice. And for Ri Sol-ju, it was one of the greatest pains she had to endure during her marriage to Kim Jong-un. But giving up her passion for art was only a small part of the sacrifices Ri Sol-ju had to face. Ri Sol-ju's secret rules and the pain of confinement. During pregnancy, despite being the wife of one of the world's most powerful leaders, Ri Sol-ju has not only faced harsh pressures, but also experienced periods of secrecy and confinement, especially during her pregnancies. Pregnancy is a sacred and happy experience for many women. However, for Ri Sol-ju, each pregnancy is a journey filled with fear and loneliness. Under the close supervision of the North Korean government, she was completely deprived of her personal freedom, even the right to freely share the joy of preparing to welcome her child. Ri Sol-ju's pregnancies were kept absolutely secret. While in other countries, information about the pregnancies of First Ladies is often made public, in North Korea, things are completely different. Every detail related to her pregnancy was tightly controlled, from the due date to the place of delivery. Ri Sol-ju was not allowed to disclose any information related to her pregnancy, even to close friends or family members. Not only did Ri Sol-ju have to live in secrecy, but she also experienced periods of confinement during her pregnancy. Confinement here was not simply being kept in a limited space, but also being completely deprived of her freedom of movement and the right to make decisions about her health. During the months of her pregnancy, Ri Sol-ju was not allowed to go out, not allowed to meet relatives or friends, and not even allowed to freely choose her doctor or healthcare method. Everything had to follow the plan set by Kim Jong-un and his advisors. This meant she had to endure the pain and fatigue of pregnancy without any emotional support from her loved ones. Her confinement during pregnancy was also to ensure that no information about her health or that of her unborn child leaked out. The North Korean authorities feared that any abnormalities in Ri Sol-ju's pregnancy could be used as a political tool against them. Therefore, she was forced to live in absolute isolation, without any contact with the outside world. For Ri Sol-ju, her pregnancy was not only a time of happy anticipation, but also a time of physical and mental pain. The excessive control of Kim Jong-un and the North Korean authorities turned her joy into fear and humiliation. Not only was she deprived of her personal freedom, but she was also cut off from all contact with the outside world, making her feel like she was living in an invisible prison. Despite being descended from the most powerful family in North Korea, Ri Sol-ju has no right to live her own life. She has to endure physical and mental pain that few can imagine, just to maintain the perfect image and absolute power of Kim Jong-un. It was thought that being imprisoned while pregnant was the most terrifying thing, but in reality, there is no limit to the brutality of Kim Jong-un. When his power is threatened, even Ri Sol-ju's closest loved ones are not safe. Kim Jong-un orders bloody purge, Ri Sol-ju's brother and uncle executed. Life in a powerful family may seem like the pinnacle of wealth and fame, but in reality it is a constant battle between life and death. Behind the closed doors of the palace in Pyongyang, where power is concentrated in the hands of Kim Jong-un, brutal purges have taken place. This is not only a measure to protect power, but also a way to eliminate potential threats from within the family itself. For Kim Jong-un, absolute power is the ultimate goal, and anyone who threatens that, whether it is his brother or his wife's uncle, must be eliminated. For that reason, Ri Sol-ju had to witness the most terrible tragedy of her life when her own husband ordered the execution of her brother and uncle without hesitation. Ri Sol-ju's brother, once a key figure in the North Korean regime, fell victim to Kim Jong-un's unbridled ambition for power. According to confidential sources, the elder brother was seen by Kim Jong-un as a potential threat to his power. With his foresight and sharp political mind, Ri Sol-ju's elder brother was not only an influential figure, but also a serious challenge to Kim Jong-un's rule. Family tensions escalated as Kim Jong-un began to doubt the loyalty of his brother-in-law. Fears of a coup from within the family left Kim Jong-un no choice. The decision was made, and the brutal purge began. Ri Sol-ju's elder brother was executed in secret, leaving his family heartbroken and in despair. But the pain did not stop there. Ri Sol-ju's uncle, another powerful figure in the family, also did not escape Kim Jong-un's suspicion. The uncle, once a man of great influence in state affairs, became the next target on the list of people to be eliminated. Despite their close relationship, Kim Jong-un ordered his uncle's execution on the grounds that he could be a potential danger to the regime. The execution was carried out brutally and quickly, leaving the entire family in deep grief. For Ri Sol-ju, these purges were not only a personal loss, but also a terrifying reminder of the dangers of living close to absolute power. She not only lost her loved ones, but she endured the pain in absolute loneliness, because no one could understand the feeling of having her own husband order the murder of her own brother and uncle. The unspeakable pain and loneliness of a life of power make Ri Sol-ju a tragic figure. She is forced to continue living under Kim Jong-un's strict control while trying to hide her pain and dissatisfaction from the outside world. This not only turns her life into an invisible prison, but also pushes her into a state of mental crisis with no way out. After her brother and uncle are executed, Ri Sol-ju not only has to endure the pain of loss, but also faces an even more cruel reality: complete isolation from her family. Separation from family, mental isolation. After the brutal purges, Kim Jong-un did not stop there. Realizing the potential danger of any contact with Ri Sol-ju's family, he ordered her to be isolated from her remaining loved ones. This was not only to protect his own power, but also to ensure that Ri Sol-ju was completely isolated mentally, with nowhere to turn, no one to share her pain with. All communication between Ri Sol-ju and her family was cut off or strictly monitored. Phone calls, letters, and even meetings were strictly limited. She was deprived of the right to meet her closest loved ones, those who could provide her with comfort and emotional support. This isolation was not only a means of control, but also a form of mental torture, forcing her to live in extreme loneliness and constant fear. Kim Jong-un not only controlled his wife's public life, but also every aspect of her private life. By isolating Ri Sol-ju from her family, he ensured that she would never have the opportunity to hear or share opposing views, further cementing his absolute dominance. This left Ri Sol-ju, a woman trapped in a vicious cycle of loneliness and brutal control, where each day was a continuation of pain and helplessness. The isolation from her family pushed Ri Sol-ju into a state of extreme mental isolation, but that was not all. To ensure that she was always under his control, Kim Jong-un implemented additional strict surveillance measures, turning her life into a constant cycle of fear and stress. Monitoring every activity, life in pincers. Not stopping at isolating his wife from her family, Kim Jong-un also put Ri Sol-ju under constant and close surveillance. Her every move, every word, and even every thought was closely monitored. Ri Sol-ju's every activity, from communicating with others to moving within the palace, had to follow strict regulations and was not allowed to take any action outside of the supervision. The surveillance system was not only carried out by Kim Jong-un's loyal bodyguards, but was also supported by modern technology. Cameras were installed everywhere in the palace, from her bedroom, dining room, to her personal living areas. These cameras not only recorded images, but also had the ability to record audio, ensuring that not a single whisper from Ri Sol-ju could escape the eyes of the authorities. In addition, other technological measures were also applied, such as monitoring her phone and personal communication devices. Any calls or messages Ri Sol-ju made were censored, and all her interactions with outsiders had to be approved by Kim Jong-un or his close advisors. Even in her most private moments, Ri Sol-ju could not escape this close surveillance. Her life was turned into an invisible prison, where every action was controlled and every moment was monitored. This constant surveillance not only deprived Ri Sol-ju of her personal freedom, but also created a living environment full of stress and pressure, where she could not find any privacy or comfort. She lived in constant fear, always worrying that the smallest mistake could lead to serious consequences, not only for herself, but also for her loved ones. By maintaining this total surveillance, Kim Jong-un ensured that Ri Sol-ju had no opportunity to protest or express her own will. She was turned into a puppet in the hands of her powerful husband, a woman who lived as if she had lost her freedom, no longer had hope, only absolute obedience in a life with no way out. Ri Sol-ju's life under Kim Jong-un's strict surveillance and total control turned her into a symbol of obedience and sacrifice. However, behind that seemingly perfect appearance, there were inevitable tensions and conflicts in her relationship with Kim Jong-un. Despite living under strict control, Ri Sol-ju still tried to maintain and build her image as a gentle and beautiful wife, always appearing in public with a perfect appearance, even exemplary according to the standards that Kim Jong-un desired. Ri Sol-ju's life, perfect beauty or harsh reality? The life of Ri Sol-ju, the wife of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, has always been a subject of curiosity for the public and the international media. With her elegant appearance and public presence at political and diplomatic events, Ri Sol-ju is built as a symbol of family harmony in a closed regime. However, behind those perfect images, a harsh reality is taking place that not everyone knows. Perfect appearance, a political strategy. Ri Sol-ju often appears in public with a sophisticated appearance, exuding luxury and elegance. Her outfits are always carefully selected, showing nobility and class, highlighting the image of a powerful woman beside her husband. Every appearance, from her smile to the way she stands, reflects an ideal model of a North Korean woman in the eyes of the public. This is not only part of her personal image, but also part of her political strategy. Kim Jong-un has used Ri Sol-ju's image to consolidate his power, building a powerful and unified family image. This not only helps him assert his position in the world, but is also a way to stabilize power at home. Ri Sol-ju, as the First Lady, becomes an important part in maintaining the unity and image of the North Korean regime. However, behind that perfect curtain, there are rumors about the stressful life and hardships that Ri Sol-ju faces. Many sources say that she is forced to adhere to the strict standards set by Kim Jong-un. Any mistake, no matter how small, can lead to serious consequences. Kim Jong-un is said to have extremely strict requirements for his wife to maintain a perfect image at all times. Any deviation from the norm can lead to the North Korean leader's wrath. There have been reports of Ri Sol-ju being harshly reprimanded when she fails to meet her husband's lofty expectations. These tensions extend beyond image control to other aspects of Ri Sol-ju's personal life. It is rumored that Kim Jong-un has imposed stricter restrictions on his wife's personal freedom, when he feels she may be negatively affecting his image. These regulations not only damage the couple's relationship, but also create a tense atmosphere in the family. Sources also say that Ri Sol-ju has had many arguments with her husband due to conflicts arising from her failure to meet his strict standards. Kim Jong-un's temper tantrums not only made her life difficult, but also eroded their relationship. This control even extended to the smallest details of Ri Sol-ju's daily life. What she said, how she acted, all had to follow a script set by Kim Jong-un. Her personal freedom was almost completely eliminated, and she was forced to live in her husband's shadow, serving his political goals. Despite the hardships she faced, Ri Sol-ju showed incredible resilience. Her ability to maintain a flawless public image is a testament to her inner strength and determination. However, rumors of conflict with Kim Jong-un also raised questions about the price she paid to maintain that image. Ri Sol-ju, behind her beautiful and gentle exterior, may be enduring unimaginable pressure. The stresses of her family life, the sacrifice of her personal freedom, and her troubles with her husband may have pushed her into a predicament that few people can understand. Ri Sol-ju's public image is the result of careful strategy and a tightly controlled life. However, the realities behind that picture-perfect image are fraught with hardship and challenges. Ri Sol-ju's story is a clear example of how one's life can be turned into a political tool, where a perfect appearance is exchanged for great personal sacrifice. In a world where image and reality often do not coincide, Ri Sol-ju's story is not only a story of a strong woman, but also a reminder of what can happen when political power transcends all boundaries, placing a terrible burden on women like her that few can understand. Ri Sol-ju's life, with all its secrets and harsh realities, is a testament to the complexity of power and the fragility of individual freedom in a closed dictatorship. Dear friends, the life of Ri Sol-ju, despite being the first lady of one of the most powerful countries in the world, is filled with pain and loneliness that few can understand. The image of a woman trapped in a vortex of power and control, living in an invisible prison, makes people feel heartbroken. Her story is a haunting reminder of the price to pay when living in the shadow of absolute power, where love, happiness, and personal freedom are sacrificed for cold and cruel political purposes. What do you think about Ri Sol-ju's life? Leave a comment and share your thoughts with us. Don't forget to like, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next interesting videos.